going to be a long night, but what I am saying is that these are comfortable seats. So let us come forward, fill up the seats, and we're going to get cracking. Still some excellent chairs over here. Well, there were until those guys took them. Still some excellent chairs here, or there was until Blender took them. You can take them. Couple of seats here if anyone wants them. There's one there next to Todd McClay. You can talk his ear off, get a trade deal. Where are the others? Any other seats? A couple of seats at the middle table there. There's a couple of seats here as well. Are you saving a seat? No, you can take that. She really is taking it. She went, there's a spare seat, but I'm not sitting next to that guy. All right. Shh. It gives me enormous pleasure, as it has done a number of times over the last couple of days, and certainly many, many times over the last few years, to welcome Lance Rapana to the stage to bless the proceedings. Let's have a round of applause for Lance. Hello, Lance.
Tēnā no tātou. Kei no tātou. E tātua kaharawa nau mai kei wainganui i a tātou. Hei mana ki tia tātou mai te tingamatanga o te kaupapa ki tēnei haora te whakamutunga. Tēnei tō tātou ino e kia koe, korore ki tō ingoa tapu, ake, amine. Just to assure everybody here, that's just a quick prayer, a blessing to bless tonight's event. And so while I've got the opportunity, once again, to our Minister Todd McClay, me mihi ake kia koe, e te minita, kia tātou katoa, all of our dignitaries that are here tonight. I acknowledge all of yous, to our sponsors, to our judges, to all of our innovators that are here tonight. I acknowledge yous all. Can I just do a little bit of a side notice? Yesterday I was up on the stage and I made a little bit of a fupa with our, with our Prime Minister. I had on my mind, because we were also launching a John Luxton Award, and instead of calling our Prime Minister Chris Luxton, I called him John Luxton. But here's what I want to talk to all of us about. It was the quality of the man. Before I left there yesterday, I went over to have a bit of a chat with him, and to really apologise. As I got to him, I tapped him on the shoulder, and he looked at me, and he had a smile on his face, and he said, "Don't worry, I've been called worse names than John." And I tell you what I had to take from that was the fact that, you know, that's the quality of us as Kiwis. We have that ability to be empathetic. He could have sold me down the line and made it very difficult, made it awkward. And I must say, I haven't always voted for National or our Prime Minister, but I must say I looked the man in the eye and I thought, you're a quality guy, you're a quality Kiwi. And that's wonderful for all of us. So all I want to say to all of us tonight, uphold our Kiwiana quality, because it's so wonderful, it makes us so special. So kia ora tātou, have a wonderful night.
Well, I had a very different experience, because when I tapped the Prime Minister on the shoulder, I was immediately tackled by diplomatic services, and I've spent the last 4 hours in custody. I wish I was joking. I'm not. No, it's... Hey, look, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, kia ora, it's me, Teredo, once again hosting what I think is the most exciting part of the Field Days. Not only this year, but every year. We're welcoming, of course, some people on a live stream. To those of you who are viewing on a live stream, really great canapes. You missed out on them. The rumours, there is a frisson of excitement in the room. We are about to end that for many people as we crush the dreams of many of the award finalists. We're not. Hey, look, this is a great celebration, as is Field Days. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome aboard. For the Field Days, of course, the Southern Hemisphere's largest agricultural event, the supreme showcase for cutting-edge technology and innovation. And within that, these Field Days Innovation Awards with AWS, they are the ultimate launch platform for primary innovation and a globally renowned awards program. Field Days is your place to be inspired, and this year's awards are certainly living up to that. I am sure that there are many people who have entered the Innovation Awards, who are in the innovation tent, who were inspired by coming perhaps many years ago to see some of the innovations. And as we do as New Zealanders, we think, I reckon I could do that. I've got an idea. So a massive thanks to each and every one of you for putting your innovations in and turning up tonight. Thanks to those who are, as I say, tuning in online. We are exactly halfway through Field Days 2026. To get a sense of the scale, I know we've got some of our Australian friends here as well. 1,100 exhibitors, over 100,000 visitors in 4 days, which I think is, what about giving that a round of applause? Bloody great. Maybe you should run for a week, Richard. What do you reckon?
I agree.
There's a whole lot of innovators and exhibitors go, we really want to go home. Hey, look, tonight in the room, as I say, I think this is one of the hot tickets of the Field Days showcase. We have got award participants, we've got finalists, we've got judges, sponsors, advocates, supporters, investors, politicians, dignitaries, innovators. We've got awards alumni, we've got international guests, we've got Field Day staff, we've got people on the board, we've got people who went house of security getting into the event, failing to go through the door and stepping over the tiny wooden fence. If that is you, I'm telling you what this is so that if someone asks you, you go, oh no, it's the Innovation Awards. I know what it is that I'm at. So thanks for joining us as we celebrate these innovators and their awards this year. Thanks to the Field Day Society and our incredible award sponsors, the total prize package is over $75,000 worth of cash, services and products to launch and accelerate our participants' startup journeys. Yes. So, it's always good to know who we've got in the room. First, let's everyone who is participating in the awards. So, who's all of our awards finalists? Let's put your hands up. Let's give them a massive round of applause. Congratulations. You are the heart and soul of the awards, and we really do appreciate it. And I do want to say as well, for those of you who have entered the Innovation Showcase, if you are a finalist, if you did not make being a finalist, I say this as I do at many of these events, you can win in your game without necessarily being a finalist or a winner, and this is exactly the room and exactly the place to do it. The networking that you do, the connections that you make, you may well leave this with a serendipitous conversation, which in a few months down the line will turn into an incredible success story for you, your business. It'll help you go on or push you off in another tangential area. So all the very best to each and every one of you over the next little while. What we do particularly like here, we've got a new main sponsor for the awards this year. So what about a round of applause for Amazon Web Services? There they are. Steve, the wonderful Steve, who put this together, has kindly gone in and through the courtesy of AI, the tech kind, not the rural kind, not Bruce with a big rubber glove, that's very much the rural kind. Through the tech kind, we've got a little AI blurb about each of our wonderful sponsors. And look, I'll say this at every event. There are people here, for this will be the third or fourth time you've heard me say it within the last couple of days. Todd has heard me say it day in, day out. Sponsors are really important. We don't get to have the nice things in our communities without a whole lot of businesses putting their hands in their pockets. So if you can support sponsors, whether it's at a wonderful event like this, your local football club, a little community project, whatever it is, if you look at those businesses that are putting their hands in their pockets and making your community a better place and you can support them, please do. So we do thank AWS. They provide the cloud and AI digital infrastructure that helps innovators develop, scale and commercialise new technologies for the primary sector. While they are here, the AWS team are also filming Growing Tomorrow, a documentary capturing the real journeys of New Zealand's agricultural innovation during Field Days. I cannot wait to see that. So again, what about a round of applause for AWS? Another new sponsor this year, we welcome on board PwC, of course, supporting innovators with business, financial strategy and growth expertise to help turn strong ideas into sustainable ventures. A round of applause for PwC. Hello, welcome. And of course, our stalwart sponsors who have been with us for many years. We do very much appreciate them coming back time and time again. Map of Ag, who use data analytics and farm system insights to help agricultural businesses make better decisions and improve performance. The wonderful group at Blender. Blender transforms innovative concepts into market-ready products through industrial design, engineering and product development expertise. Sprout Agritech, you may well have spoken to them over the last few days. Sprout helps early-stage agri-food technology businesses grow through investment, mentoring and commercialisation support. And of course, the wonderful team at King Street Advertising. King Street helps brands and innovators build awareness, tell compelling stories and connect with audiences through strategic marketing and creative communications. And Agritech New Zealand, championing New Zealand's agritech ecosystem by connecting innovators with industry investors and global opportunities. So what about a round of applause for each and every one of those wonderful sponsors? We do really appreciate it. Without them, look, I'm not going to say that without them this would not happen, but without them, we would not have the $75,000 worth of prizes. We probably wouldn't be in this tent. We'd be standing up in the car park just handing out certificates. So we'd be emailing the certificates, I would imagine, and sending you $4 in crypto. So, the Fieldays Innovation Awards with AWS clearly represent the innovation life cycle in 3 award categories: prototype, early stage and growth and scale. Special recognition is also given to our younger innovators with an award for the Fieldays Young Innovator of the Year, which is again $2,000. So congratulations to all of the finalists in that category. This year, 57 participants were selected after entering the awards, so congratulations to all of our selected participants. What about a round of applause for each and every one of them? 57. 57. Tonight we're going to present the awards, obviously, and we're also going to hear from a great collaboration in the agri-AI space, thanks to AWS. And we will make sure that there is time afterwards for networking, for discussions, maybe for a little deal making. So we can be nice and concentrated during the presentation, and then by all means you are welcome to stay here until we are thrown out into the cold, network, meet people. And look, the most important thing, don't talk to the people you've been talking to every day. Turn around and meet somebody new, because you never know who that person is going to be. So, let us start off with someone who is now no longer new. A year and a week he has been here, the CEO of New Zealand National Fieldays Society. Let's have a round of applause for Richard Lindroos. Hello, Richard.
Tēnā koutou katoa no mai haere mai. How good is his blazer tonight? It is looking pretty flash. Are you going out on a cheap date tonight, or are you staying? Can do. Look, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fieldays Day 2. Wow, we've made it. Great weather, great crowds, and we're really pleased how it's going. But most importantly, it's especially welcome to everyone in the room. A welcome to the various government ministers. It's the beehive is in town. Someone said that today, but I just want to shout out to Honourable Todd McClay, Honourable Mark Patterson, and also our Fieldays MP, Barbara Kuriga, sitting there she is. A mention to our society board members. Thank you for all your support. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it. Steve Chappell. Yeah. Stand up, Steve. Where is he? Yep. Over there. So Steve works tirelessly all year in putting on these awards, and it means a lot. So well done, Steve. On behalf of the New Zealand National Fieldays Society, it is my pleasure to welcome you tonight, the 2026 Fieldays Innovation Awards with AWS. And it's a night where we come together to reward, to celebrate and recognise excellence, and I mean excellence, at the top of the tree in innovation across the food and fibre sector. But tonight is more than just ceremony, it's recognition of brilliant minds. People who are pushing the boundaries, solving real-world problems and driving the future of the New Zealand primary sector. Thank you for our naming right, AWS. Your support is instrumental to this event and also to the wider innovation ecosystem, so thank you. Thank you to the innovation judges. Thank you for, again, volunteering, giving your time and your expertise to make these awards happen. At the heart of Fieldays, you hear this at numerous events, we have 3 strategic pillars, and you can probably repeat them back to me: education, innovation and globalisation. Innovation is core, and tonight we recognise that. And the reason why innovation is a special one for us, because it's about looking forward. The Fieldays Innovation Awards with AWS are one of the most prestigious platforms of their kind in New Zealand. They represent our commitment to nurturing and showcasing ideas that can transform the way we live, the way we farm, and the way we work, not just at home in New Zealand, but on a global stage. So for us as a society, these awards aren't just a feature of Fieldays, they are core to our mission. They help elevate early stage concepts, spotlight proven technologies, and connect brilliant innovators with people, funding, and the networks they need to grow and succeed. So, to all our entrants, our finalists, and our recipients, thank you. Your work reflects the courage, the creativity, and the capability that our sector is built on. So we're proud to stand with you, behind you, and we look forward to seeing where your ideas take you next. Let's have a good night. Cheers.
Thank you, Richard. I was just reflecting, we had the primary industry luncheon here yesterday, and we had Sir William Gallagher in here, one of the original founders of Fieldays some 58, 60 years ago, and it caused me to think, you might have heard of their business, little company called Gallagher's. They've done all right. But it began, with that simple idea. His dad was annoyed with the fact that the horse was rubbing up against the car. He thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a dynamo, I'm going to hook it up to the car, and I'm going to shock that horse. And here we are, 70-odd years later, with that incredible business. And looking around, I know that if we were to come back in 10, in 15, in 20, in 30, in 50 years, some of you will be in a position like that, from having some harebrained idea that has spiraled out and become an incredible success story. So it can happen to anyone. All the very best to each and every one of you. Someone whom I'm sure, as a young man, thought to himself, what would be great in my life? Imagine if I could become the Minister of Agriculture, or Forestry, or Trade and Investment. What if I could become the Associate Minister of Foreign Affairs? What if I could do all of them at once? I'd be living the dream. Here he is, my friends, living the dream. It's the Honourable Todd McClay. Hello, Todd. Also a very big fan of the Fieldays Innovation Awards and one of the hardest working of all of the MPs. Hello. Good.
Thank you so much. Well, kia ora everybody, good evening, and Tirana, thank you very much for that. When I was a young man, I grew up in Taupo, and I wanted to be heavily involved in horticulture. On your tables are some seeds. The seeds we grew in Taupo are very, very different than these ones, so it did lead me on the way to the job I've got now. By the way, I'm also the MP for Te Puke, so put that together. See, there's a man over there who knew exactly what I was talking about. Sir, you're the only one that knows about Te Puke Thunder. Look at that. Hey, really pleased to be here. It's really enjoyable. There's many events through the week. Let me start this speech as I have every other one. This is my favourite event of the week. Tonight, though, it happens to be true. And the reason for that is innovation is at the heart, the core of what makes New Zealand agriculture and all of the primary sector just so fantastic, world leading. If not for innovation by the men and women of provincial New Zealand, the lamb chops that we eat would still be probably more wool than they are lamb. They'd be a bit anemic. We would be still producing butter and putting it in cans to send it off to the old country, the mother country of the United Kingdom, and our kiwi fruit would look like small, hairy Chinese gooseberries. The point of this is innovation is what's made New Zealand great when it comes to be the highest quality, safest food producers in the world. It's what's driven exception in our horticulture and in our aquaculture sectors, and certainly the advancements we've seen in forestry. Yesterday, during the lunch, we announced what becomes, I think, a very, very important policy for New Zealand for the next 3 to 6 6 years. The first 3 years that we've had in government, or this 3 years in government, we've been focused on fixing the rules. You know, we're a country of people that actually will do the right thing when you actually get the rules right. We don't need more rules, we just need smarter rules. We need to back rule New Zealand, get the rules right, get the cost down, you know, trust them to do the right thing because, you know, because farmers care deeply about their land and they care deeply about their animals. The next 3 to 6 years, if we are given the honour of forming government again, has got to be how we don't play with the rules anymore. We can say that we've done all the things we're going to. It's how do we produce more to sell to the world? You know, we're very lucky. We've got sort of better trade access to countries of the world, the big countries, than most other nations that I can think of. You know, just think of the latest trade deal we did, which is with India, 1.4 billion people. We're 5 million. You know, I say to some of my friends and colleagues in Parliament, what problem do you think 5 million people actually can solve for 1.4 billion? We've got huge opportunity there. But, you know, from the European Union to the UK, to China, to India, to the US, who are still selling more, to Japan, to Korea, to the CPTPP, to ASEAN, all the countries and regions we have trade deals with, we now have more access and more consumer demand than what we produce in New Zealand. So the opportunity and challenge is how we produce more to be able to sell to those consumers that want high quality, safe food around the world. They will pay us more for it, which grows our economy, makes our rural communities richer, and actually creates jobs and helps every single New Zealander. And the way we do that is through innovation, because it is no longer a choice between producing more and the environment. We actually have to do both. How do we produce more on our land with a smaller, a better environmental footprint? And that comes to innovation. We announced as part of this policy of where we're going a partnership with the private sector, 30 companies and organisations, to start trialling and testing on farm practically things that are going to allow us to do that. And you know, it's in a number of areas that we're doing it. You know, we're looking at what we can do with dairy to be able to increase production through better farming practices and other things, and reduce nitrate leaching by up to 20%. You know, can we use collars on beef cattle to drive up production because they utilise pasture better? We're doing projects around horticulture and in forestry and also in aquaculture. So we want to go out there and partner to prove these sorts of things, because many countries of the world are saying the way we get a better environmental outcome is to do less, to put farmers out of business. We don't have that ability, that luxury in New Zealand, but we also don't have the luxury to take the environment for granted. And innovation and those things that you do and many others like you is how we get there. For our part, we've also got this fund we set up, or I changed it a bit. It's called the Primary Sector Growth Fund. And we retargeted and refocused it on things that are going to drive up farm gate return in the short to medium term, as well as some of the things more longer term. And just an example of some of the things we've jointly invested in with the private sector is around resilient pastures. Pasture species better suited to a changing climate. What that actually means is here in the Waikato and further north, you know, the climate is changing. The pasture is not producing as much carbohydrate proteins as it used to. We're getting less meat per kilo from that, or less dairy. So rather than saying, well, what should we do? Put more cows or bring in supplements, we're actually using innovation to go and find ways to improve the pasture and others that will be better suited here, so we can get more production on the land for the same amount of effort. Dairy beef opportunities, creating more value for dairy calves through stronger dairy beef integration and more efficient supply chains, taking bobby calves and actually adding value to them so that we can sell more beef around the world. Do you know, in the SOPI, the outlook for the prime industries, which we announced today, there's been a 14% increase in export of red meat and wool around the world. They've broken new records. Everywhere I go, people want red meat from New Zealand. We're going to have to produce more if we're going to sell it to them to grow the economy. Pure Food company who are here in Australia, and I saw them a little while ago in Paris, where they've started getting contracts with the French government to sell highly nutritious food for seniors into care facilities. We're partnering with them to continue to work to texture modified foods for older people, which just creates greater value for what we're producing here already. And then wool source manufacturing with Mark Patterson earlier, he and I announced an investment of $8 million into a $20 million program, scaling up high-value wool ingredients from products ranging from inks to bioplastics. How do we take wool, do something other than just turn it into a hat or a carpet and get greater value for the farmer? Through innovation. By the way, when we did it, Mark was saying that as a wool grower, when he was getting $1.50 a kilo for his wool, it was making him angry because he was losing a lot of money. He's getting about $6.20 a kilo or even more at the moment, right? I see him smiling. But I saw him last night talking to the Minister of Revenue. He told him he was still only getting $1.50, mate. Your party's got to pay more tax. Anyway, the point of this, congratulations to all of you that are here tonight who are entrants for what you're doing. Sadly, only some get to get the prize, but you've got this far, you're all winners. Your ideas are wonderful. New Zealand is a country full of innovators who pitch above their weight and are finding solutions to the challenges that we face here, and you get to go and sell them to the world and make money doing that as well. Think of it this way. A group of guys in the bottom of the South Island near Queenstown used to drink in the weekends, and one of them said one day, what do you reckon would happen if we tie some rubber around their legs and we jump off that bridge? And they've gone out and they've actually sold that to the world. People pay them to chuck them off bridges and so on, right? So it tells me if you do that there, we can do anything. To the young students over here, doesn't mean later on tonight you should get a cow, put some rubber around its leg and chuck it off a bridge. We're not allowed to do that. But thanks for what you're doing. Keep innovating, because the solution to the problems of growing our economy are the great ideas that sit in this room. Kia ora.
And speaking of young people, we're going to kick off the awards. Thank you, Todd. It's amazing. You would have been the same. The number of New Zealand businesses that have started in a garage, other than in the horticulture sector where they start in a wardrobe. If you know, you know. This is nothing to suggest that you should take this up, young people. Young Innovator of the Year. Hey, look, this is, there you are. This is one of our favourite awards we often talk about. The innovation coming through with young people. They're clever folks. We're going to welcome Deirdre Kyle, Head of Enterprise New Zealand at AWS, to join Minister Macleay to present the award. Here's how it's going to work through the course of the evening with each of our 4 awards. I am going to read out the prize package. I'm going to name the finalists and why they are a finalist. Then I'm going to announce the winner. If that is you, immediately look surprised. Look humble. Make your way up to the stage. We have got... Are there stairs at that end? Great, there are stairs at that end. So make your way up to the stage. You'll receive the certificates and the handshakes, and then I'm going to be reading out the citation as to why you won, and then you are more than welcome to come to the lectern and say a few words, a few well-chosen words. Like, I do want you to come and speak, but I have hosted awards for 27 years, never once has anyone said, Radio of the Night was excellent, I wish it had been longer. If it looks like you are going to thank every person who's ever been associated with you and your innovation, I will move closer to you until eventually I'm uncomfortably close. You'll leave and go and get your photograph taken at the photo wall at the back. All right. So, the innovation category, the junior one. This award is for participants from any category who are 19 years old or under. The prize is $2,000, sponsored by Fieldays. This year again, we have a specific judging team for this award, led by Rosie Spragg in Justin White's absence. In fact, actually, we had 18 volunteer judges from all around the country. It was incredibly difficult for them. There were 57 entrants into all of the categories. You can imagine the time, the arguments, the effort that they have put into this. What about a round of applause for all 18 of our judges? Let's begin. Inevo, biodegradable plant pots made from New Zealand forestry and primary industry waste are the first of our 4 finalists in this category. The second, from St Paul's Collegiate, Smooth Sip, an extension for a screw-on calf feeder that filters clumped milk powder so calf teats don't get blocked. From St Paul's Collegiate, Pig Prop, a portable pigtail standard carrier that attaches to a motorbike or can be carried by hand to safely transport multiple fence standards. And the fourth, from St Paul's Collegiate, Tractor armour, a heavy-duty steel mesh front-end guard designed to protect tractors in orchards and tight farming environments. What about a round of applause for all 4 of our finalists? Look, I do want to point out again, 3 of our 4 finalists are from St Paul's, and it's a testament to their agribusiness and schools program. And just a shout out to Kerry Allen, who cannot be here tonight. Kerry has a health issue at the moment, and wishing Kerry all the very best in her recovery. So what about a round of applause for Kerry? Every year, great entrance. So those are the 4. Who's going to take it out? The winner. Taking away $2,000 and the title. A round of applause for Anivo. The judges were impressed with the general standard of all entries in the Young Innovator category. A lot of robust discussion was needed to make their decision. Anivo stood out for the consistency of values demonstrated through every aspect and detail of the business, the consideration given to the entire supply and distribution chain, and the depth of market engagement with customers and partners. The judges particularly noted Eliza's courage and foresight to pivot in response to commercial pressures, the strength of branding, and the scope for Anivo to achieve its environmental impact goals and diversify beyond the initial product. Your first winner for the evening, a round of applause. Yeah, you can say something. And then we'll explain what that enormous thing is, because you've probably never seen a cheque.
Someone paid me in coins the other day. I was like, I don't think I've held coins in a long time. So quickly, this is really cool. I feel like I've been through pretty much all of the Young Innovator entrepreneurship programs in New Zealand, and they're pretty awesome. My parents have no background in entrepreneurship. I never knew that was an option as a career path. I started this at 15 years old, went through various different programs, got lots of grants and support from the ag industry. And as of 2.5 months ago, I work on my business full-time now. We manufactured in New Zealand last week, and looking forward to hopefully selling 3.5 million biodegradable plant pots so that we can keep New Zealand beautiful. And that's me.
Awesome. Take your certificate. Oh, I squandered my youth. To Bookie Thunder. Hi. I was going to say something. Oh, here's what I was going to say. Actually, look, this is a really important point. Some of you I know are speaking to someone today. You may have been to, I used to host a big design conference called Semi-Permanent. Some of the best designers are from around the world. We had everyone from the head of human-centric design for Apple. We had beautiful illustrators. We had all of these people who were at the peak of their careers globally. Every single year that we hosted this, one of these people would stand on stage and say, the thing that I do now, I didn't know that was a thing. The thing that I'm involved with, no one ever told me that I could go and do that in the future. If we do nothing else, and I'm talking to some of the older people here, when we go back to our young people, the greatest thing that we can expose our kids to these days is the wealth of opportunities that there is out there. There is something for everybody. No matter what they're into, there is an option for them to pursue it, and I think the most important thing we can do is say, hey, that's a thing. You should go and pursue that thing. So again, what about a round of applause for all of our young innovators? Congratulations, Anivo. If you are familiar with this event, you know that every year we have some excellent presentations from innovators. We're taking a break in the awards ceremony now to hear from 2. We're going to welcome Julie Ryan, CEO of Caitlin AI, and Aaron Meikle, Head of Extension, Product and Innovation, Beef and Lamb, New Zealand, to share the story behind Bella, an AI initiative designed to turn decades of agricultural research into practical, trusted support for farmers. Please welcome, for our wonderful Fieldays Innovation presentation, Julie and Aaron. Hello. I'm standing here filling time until you arrive. Welcome, Julie. Hey, welcome, Aaron. Pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you. Right, good evening, everyone. So agriculture is more than just another market segment here in New Zealand. It's the integral part of our cultural backbone in this country. And our number 8 why mentality is more than just making do with what we have. It's about invention and innovation, which of course is what we're here to celebrate tonight. My name's Julie Ryan, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Caitlin AI. It is an absolute thrill to be here at these Innovation Awards, at the largest agricultural event in the Southern Hemisphere. And I am super excited that we can be here tonight celebrating with our wonderful partner, Beef and Lamb New Zealand, who of course they themselves are an absolute institution in the New Zealand farming community.
Thanks, Julie, and look, congratulations to everybody here tonight. As it says, I'm Aaron Meikle, Head of Extension, Products and Innovation at Beef and Lamb New Zealand. Just in a break with tradition, nothing will give me more pleasure if for the next 20 minutes you all get your phone out and have a look at askbella.co.nz, because it's the whole point of this tool that we've got, and downloads are one of my KPIs. I look after our portfolio of extension and decision support resources at Beef and Lamb New Zealand. That's everything from fact sheets through to online tools, and so Bella has become one of my responsibilities. At Beef and Lamb New Zealand, and this is a design thinking thing that a lot of you entrepreneurs are probably aware of, one of our key mantras is fall in love with the problem, not the solution. It's easy to jump to the shiny new tool, the new idea that's out there, but ultimately it starts with understanding what it is you're trying to solve. One of our key problems is there's that old truism that every farm is different, and it follows from that, for those of us working in agriculture, that every farmer is different. So as an industry, good organisation that's trying to help the wide industry, but we've got, say, 10,000 odd individual farmers, how do we help them with their own specific problems and issues on their farm when we don't drive up every individual driveway? We work at a remote level. We have lots of information that is there for people to help. I actually did a count, and we've got 2,799 individual resources on our website at the moment across 14 different formats that I spoke about some of them before. That's the outputs of over $100 million worth of research over the years, plus, more importantly, I think, decades of experience and lessons and so on from people in the industry, such as many of you in this room, and from farmers themselves. For example, we have excellent human resources information. Managing staff is often brought up by farmers as one of the biggest challenges they have. That information it's accurate, it's thorough, it's verified, it's checked against the relative legislation. But how does, say, a farmer from my neck of woods, an Otago farmer with breeding ewes and a breeding cow flock, a bull finishing block, some pretty steep hill country, tracks that get slippery in winter, how do they apply that specifically to their new hire, a shepherd on their second role who's never worked with cattle before? We can give them a generic fact sheet about what they need to do, but how do they apply it to that specific situation? And AI offered a solution to that. So we created Bella, our beef and lamb assistant, and we'll talk a bit more about Bella and how we came there, but the key difference with these tools is not about the answers. All of a sudden it's about the question. So when we create a fact sheet, me or one of our team will try and decide what is the question that farmers or industry are trying to resolve, and then we'll write a fact sheet to address that question. But now, with Bella, for those of you that are having a look at it, every single user decides what that question is. I don't have to bother doing that. So everybody asks their own specific question, and they get their own specific tailored answer. So we at Beef and Lamb New Zealand get to work in what we call a remotely personal way, which is a massive breakthrough. It's a 180-degree shift, or that phrase that people love, it's an entirely new paradigm. We're going to talk a bit more about that happen, but one of the key things, and we're going to touch on this, is those answers have to be trusted.
Thanks, Aaron. Earlier this year, myself and my colleague, we went on a bit of an agricultural tour of the US. Now, I've been to the US quite a few times over the years, but this trip was a little bit different. We were well off the beaten track. We went to places like the Research Triangle in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we did actually go to Fargo in North Dakota. Never thought I would go there, but I had to give my young colleague Josh a bit of an education on Fargo, having not watched either the movie or the TV series, which is a crime in and of itself. And we went on the highlight of the trip, which was to the visitor centre in Fargo to get our selfie with the wood chipper. One thing that holds true no matter where you go in that vast country, Americans hold Kiwis in such high regard. Our agricultural prowess, the quality of our produce, and of course Hobbartown. If only I had $1 for every single time I heard someone say that they want to come to New Zealand just to visit Hobbartown. While we were there, the Halter raise, the $220 million Halter raise was announced, and it really got such a buzz in that whole agri-tech scene. And not just because of the innovative product that they have created, but because of the credibility and the attention that it brought to that entire agri-tech landscape. So it just sort of proves some of the points that have been mentioned here tonight, that, you know, we are used to kind of punching above our weight from this small little part of the world that often gets left off a mat. So it was such a proud moment to hear others really kind of celebrating their success over there. Our intention on the trip was to try and understand the technological advances that were happening and how what we were doing compared internationally. And we saw some really amazing innovation, some incredible ideas that could radically improve the quality of produce, the reduced costs, which is obviously a big pressure always, and really meaningfully change the outcome for farmers. But when we started talking to some of these presenters that were showcasing these inventions, it became really clear that this was often just ideation or sitting in proof of concept. And there's a really big chasm from being in that particular place to getting it into production. And this is what sets the likes of Beef and Lamb New Zealand apart. It takes a lot of courage to innovate, to take a calculated risk on a real production tool, and put your ideas out there for others to judge. And something I really admire about Beef and Lamb New Zealand is their absolute determination that everything they do has to deliver value to their farmers. So it was made very clear to us right from the get-go that if Bella did not deliver on that core principle of Beef and Lamb New Zealand, poor old Bella might find herself off to the pound. In those early talks with Beef and Lamb New Zealand, the question wasn't, can you build an AI that searches the research? That's really the easy part. The harder question, the one that Aaron's just been talking about, is whether we could build something that farmers would really trust with their decisions. And trust isn't a feature that we've just tacked on to Bella, it's absolutely engineered into the entire system. Every answer that Bella produces comes from Beef and Lamb's own research, not the open internet, not a model's best guess. It's Beef and Lamb's actual science. Every answer cites back to source, so a farmer can click through and verify exactly where that came from. And she understands agricultural nuance, so she knows when ryegrass is a crop and when it's a weed. And she understands that because she knows the context of the New Zealand farming and not just the words. Everything runs inside Beef and Lamb New Zealand's own AWS environment on Amazon Bedrock. It's their research, their data, their control. Bedrock provides access to a range of leading AI models, so you're not locked into just one. And as the technology evolves, you're able to benefit without actually having to rebuild anything at all. Caitlin is the engine that connects all of this together and makes sure that every answer comes back tied to the $100 million of research that Aaron was just discussing. Bella works in plain language, on a phone with voice readouts, large text, and supports multiple languages, including Te Reo Māori. Trust requires that the tool actually meet farmers where they are. But the real proof is in the pudding. So, Aaron, what happened when you put this tool in their hands?
So Bella stands for Beef and Lamb Assistant, BLA, if you hadn't worked that out. One of the freaky things was when we were doing some early modelling of this, we just asked the AI tool, what should we call you? And it came up with the name, so self-awareness. But one of the key sayings, again, I like my wee mantras, one of the key sayings we were taught early on with the AI stuff is that AI isn't coming for jobs, it's coming for tasks. Okay, it's there to do things for humans, not to replace humans. And so we chose the heading dog avatar that you see there quite deliberately. Heading dogs do tasks. They don't run the farm, but they assist greatly by doing essential tasks better than a human manager can do themselves. And that in turn lets the manager do their job better. Heading dogs are loyal, ready, fast. They're there to assist. We've built our industry on them. You don't want to farm without them, and they get better with training and learning. And that's one of the things in the 6 months or so we've had Bella out there operating. she has started to do more and more, largely because the farmer managers who are working with her have found those opportunities. So Bella will answer a question. I mean, that's what AI does. That's the simplest. But that is probably the least that an AI tool like Bella can do for you. We stress that you use Bella to create, not to locate. If you need to locate, you've got search engines, and there's plenty of those floating around. The whole point of Bella is to make things that don't previously exist. So Bella, for example, has created step-by-step plans to transition ewes on and off winter crop. She's created checklists for the induction of a specific person into a role, as I touched on before, not just a generic induction for a general role. She can tailor it to the person, to the farmer, to the environment. She has created forms to help in the requirements of NZFAP plus audits. So farmers who are stressing about the auditor coming were able to generate some of the paperwork they needed simply by asking Bella the right questions. She's created bespoke monitoring calendars with dates and timing to better manage internal parasites. And she now writes multi-choice and essay questions for an unnamed Lincoln University lecturer. And you mentioned Kerry Allen. Kerry actually tested us, and apparently she's quite good at NCEA level 1, 2 and 3 agricultural questions as well. So AI for us, actually no, that's the end of my, yep. Thank you. Sorry, I get carried away.
Just on that Lincoln Uni use case, we were out there recently, and they told us that actually it's easier for them to find their research that they've undertaken for Beef and Lamb New Zealand on Bella than it is in their own system. So that's a testament to the way that you've organised things. Like any good working dog, Bella is only just getting started. What's already happening is bigger than just answering questions, as Aaron has just mentioned. Farmers aren't just asking Bella things, they're using her to build things. Checklists for their staff, plain English summaries of long technical documents. It's their own resources pulled together from Beef and Lamb New Zealand's research shaped for their farm. And over the next 12 months, the shift we're working on is even bigger. Today, Bella tells a farmer what research is available for facial eczema. The next version will help a farmer think through what to do about it and take into context things like their region, the stock levels, the season, and maybe even what's happening on neighbouring farms. It's that same research, but it's applied to their actual situation. And sometimes that might look like a recommendation, it might look like helping frame a decision, or sometimes it might be just supporting that farmer thinking through what he is already doing. And that's a shift from answers to decisions, recommendations and support. And it's only possible because of the trust is already there. Farmers are able to accept recommendations from a tool that they already trust. Beef and Lamb New Zealand and Bella have earned that position. The reason the next 12 months are even possible to talk about is because of how that foundation has been built. It's trusted, it's sovereign, it's model agnostic, so it evolves as technology evolves. It's accuracy engineered so it can carry the weight of real decisions. This technology is moving at a pace that's really hard to fathom, and I'm sure most people can relate to that here. But what that means in practice is that platforms that are built to last are the ones that are built to adapt. It's impossible to predict where AI is going in the next 5 years. It's hard enough even trying to work out what's happening in the next 6 months. So we need to build a foundation that can carry whatever it turns into. And that's the point of getting that foundation right. And it's why Beef and Lamb New Zealand are now in a position that actually very few organisations are. They're ready to build on top of what is already working. But enough of me babbling on about what's going on with Bella. That's really actually your story to tell in terms of what's coming next.
Thank you. So we've talked about AI and everybody's talking about AI, but again, another key lesson we learned early on is AI is just a tool to achieve IA. And IA is intelligence amplification. There was a really good lecturer at Lincoln University talks about this, which is, it's just a tool to take human experience, knowledge, research, all that stuff, all that collective wisdom, and put it in the palm of your hand. Because one thing AI can't do, and Bella can't do it, no matter how good the tools are, they can't do it, AI doesn't know or decide the why. It can do the how, the what, the when, all those sort of things, but it remains in the manager, the human, to understand why we want to do things. But Bella frees managers time up and effort to concentrate on the why and taking care of the what, how and the when. So we're encouraging users, therefore, to use Bella to create, as I've mentioned, not just to answer questions, to do that in the support of their why, whatever that may be, whatever their industry may be. Bella is not a search engine. We already have a great one of those, and as I said to Julie, unfortunately, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. We are just getting started with Bella. She's still just a pup. She'll learn new tricks with age and training, and we're thinking about some of the things where she will go. Some things on the radar are to be even more specific, to take in an individual farm's location and weather information and so on, and turn that into her answers, so it's becoming even more and more bespoke. We certainly want to see her become using a conversational approach. So you ask her a question, and in turn she'll ask you about, well, okay, tell me more, I need a bit more information. Just like you sit down currently with your trusted advisors. They don't just jump and give you an answer, or they shouldn't, but Bella shouldn't do the same. She should work through, get some of the detail, the nuance, and then come up with a collective agreement on what a answer may be. We're quite keen to see Bella start using an audio approach, so you can talk to her, listen to her talking back, maybe even download and make sort of bespoke podcast to listen to when you're on the tractor or getting on with some of the other farm jobs that are out there. But the key to all of this, to those of you that are the entrepreneurs and the innovation out there, I think you understand this well, that this is all the bright, shiny stuff. Ultimately, it rests on the boring stuff, the hard work, getting things right to start with. It's like building a beautiful house. It all starts ultimately with digging in the dirt and making really good foundations, some of the boring and standard stuff. But if you don't get those foundations right, all the flash stuff isn't going to stand and be worthwhile. So Bella has been a success for us because Custom D and Beef and Lamb New Zealand paid attention to that foundation work. So coming back to what I said at the start, understand the problem before you jump into a solution. And that underlying trust is always going to be the focus of our work.
As I said earlier, it takes a lot of courage to innovate and to be first, and it's fantastic to see everyone being recognised and celebrated for that tonight. And also a moment for those that maybe put their submission forward but maybe didn't quite make the finals. A shout out to them as well. I really take my hat off to all of you, and congratulations. Just one thing before I go, and sorry this is a little on the fly, but and I'm not sure where you sit on this, Aaron, but I would probably be never forgiven if I was standing on a stage in the Waikato 2 days out from a semi-final and I didn't say, "Go the Crusaders."
What about a round of applause for Julie and Aaron? Excellent. I, for one, cannot wait for Bella to become self-aware. AI is just a tool, like a hammer. You can build a beautiful house, or you can use it to beat someone to death. Thank you very much. Hey, like a pastoral palantir, only much less evil. I thought that was excellent. And I cannot wait to see how it goes in the future. I've already thrown a few questions in about sheep, and that was awesome, really great. So congratulations to you. There are other people out there right now who are thinking, that could well be me. I could be up on the stage after having won awards later this evening, talking about my presentation. So we're going to crack straight into it. Second of our awards is the Prototype Awards, supported by Sprout Agritech and Blender Design. Let us welcome representatives from both Blender and Sprout to the stage. Steve, hello. Hello. They're having, yes, it can be you. You've got the T-shirt on. You might not even work for them, I don't know, but you bought a shirt and you got your name on it. So, here is the prize package for the Prototype Award. $10,000 cash, sponsored by Fieldays. Product design and development services to the value of $10,000, sponsored by Blender Design. And a selection of tailored mentoring sessions organised by Sprout Agritech, targeted at addressing the specific needs of your venture to fast-track your progress and build a foundation for success. Also, introductions to relevant contacts within Sprout's vast network of domestic and international industry experts to a total value of $5,000. This year, the Prototype judging team was led by Juliet Ansell. So what about a round of applause for your judges and that excellent sponsor package? Here are the 5 finalists. Firstly, Agnition Ventures, VALD. The first tool to recommend the best use for every piece of land, showing pasture productivity, carbon opportunity and environmental risk on the same paddock with a dollar figure attached to each. Secondly, Scannable Weigh app, a 3D LiDAR AI-powered tool that delivers accurate real-time cattle live weights from a simple phone scan. Thirdly, Steri-Needle, a clip-on holster that automatically sterilises livestock vaccination needles between animals. Fourthly, What's Tech, Gatekeeper, an affordable system to automate existing farm gates, enabling livestock management, herd tracking and farm security. And finally, Wild Harvest Solutions Limited, Stalker app, a digital platform connecting landowners experiencing pest deer damage with hunters who can control and commercially recover them, transforming New Zealand's pest control economics. What about a round of applause to all 5 of our finalists? Each and every one of them excellent. The winner, taking away the $10,000 and the 2 other components of that prize package. A round of applause for Scannable. The judges felt that the Scannable prototype was a highly relevant solution that will be quickly and widely adopted. Having seen them previously in the Innovation Awards, they've taken on board feedback and have made significant improvements in accuracy, which is now at 95%. And the user interface extends to useful data insights for management decisions. The judges were particularly impressed that the team have covered all the bases in terms of a simple, accurate, low-stress solution, a large target market, good business model, and room for further innovation into other use cases in the future. Congratulations to the team from Scannable.
Yeah, it's fair to say over 2.5 years ago when we kind of went on this journey that I never thought we'd be here, and to be honest, at that point in time my hair was entirely brown and not grey. So yeah, big shout out to the team, Ursula, Daniel, Paul, who've been with me a good chunk of this journey. It's yeah, you guys are amazing and we've all worked super hard. And agriculture in New Zealand, we've been well supported by some of the larger companies and farmers. We're on the farm weighing animals and farmers have been great. Yeah, so this is, yeah, really appreciate this. Thanks to Sprout for investing in us and the Fieldays for kind of making this all happen. So, yep.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Congratulations. He just left the team. I, for one, can't wait till you adapt that for personal human use so that I can scan a selfie of myself before and after field days. See how much weight I've put on. It's a lot of food, Steve, eh? Just a lot of eating. Congratulations. Third award is the Early Stage Award, supported by Map of Ag. Map of Ag to deliver the Early Stage Award. So invite Map of Ag. Welcome to the stage, Map of Ag. Hello, Map of Ag. It's a prize package for the Early Stage Award category. The prize is a $15,000 cash prize sponsored by Fieldays and $5,000 cash sponsored by Map of Ag, totalling $20,000 in cash. This year, the Early Stage judging team was led by someone who is no stranger to winning, former FMG Young Farmer of the Year winner, Emma Poole. So what about a round of applause for the judges in this category? Here are the 5 finalists. Daggy Limited, Daggy, Drench and Grazing Integration, a farm app that makes invisible paddock level worm risk visible through colour-coded tables, helping sheep farmers make smarter grazing decisions, reduce unnecessary drenching, slow resistance and grow lambs faster. Alert EQ, a wearable equine monitoring device tracking health, performance and location. Alm Lab Skincare, A2 Colostrum Baby Lotion. The world's first baby lotion formulated with high levels of A2 colostrum sourced from a single, traceable family dairy farm. You may recall our 4th finalist as someone who has been up here already this evening, Alyssa, with Anevo, biodegradable plant pots made from New Zealand forestry and primary industry waste. And finally, Harvest Electronics Fixed Grid Valve Control Remote, a controller that provides real proof of irrigation flow and automatic fault detection. What about a round of applause for all 5 finalists? Before we get to the winner, we have a special mention in this category. The judges wanted to award a highly commended award this year. So congratulations to Elm Lab Skincare. A round of applause to them. You can come up. Let's have you up and grab your certificates. So here they are, coming up to receive the certificate. Elm Lab Skincare with the high levels of A2 colostrum in their baby lotion, sourced from the single traceable family dairy farm. We'll get a lovely photo. There they are. Are you using the lotion? Because you look great. Congratulations. All right, the winner. What a great category this was, eclectic. And I'm sure if Emma and the other judges are around, they will tell you what a very difficult decision this was. But there can be only one winner. They will be taking away the $15,000 courtesy of Fieldays and the $5,000 courtesy of Map of Ag and that excellent trophy and a certificate and 2 handshakes and a massive core flute check. Congratulations, Alert. Alert emerged in the early stage categories, an innovative solution that will solve real-world problems. The founders have successfully identified a significant opportunity in the market and paired it with an attractive yet robust design. The passionate founders have established a product that we believe will be well received by the equine community. So again, a round of applause for Alert. The wearable equine monitoring device tracking health, performance and location. I graze horses. I would love this to give them a little shock to keep them away from my fence, which they keep. Can it do that? It's only a matter of time.
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, a couple of apologies. Radar, I'm sorry, I am going to thank quite a few people, so sorry about that. Little note, Radar is actually the only one who's actually put our device on his head. So we get lots of strange questions, but no one's put it on their head before. So I'd like to thank the Fieldays and the Innovation Awards with AWS, and I'd also like to extend a big thank you to the team at Alert. We're very passionate and we care a lot about what we do at Alert, and so we're glad that that comes through with the work that we've done. And so a big thank you to everybody tonight. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Congratulations. Well, do you know what I really enjoy, Stephen, in an awards night when I'm reading a script? The words Final Award. Growth and Scale Award, supported by PwC. So, let us welcome the reps from PwC and King Street to help deliver the Growth and Scale Award. The prize package, $10,000 cash, sponsored by PwC, which means all of the winners this year get one of these really great and very outdated, impossible to cash checks. $15,000 worth of time for a specific marketing project from King Street Advertising. This could include brand design, web design and build, collateral design or campaign development, and perhaps one of the greatest prizes of all for someone who is winning an award tonight that involves $10,000 in cash. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, they get a 20-minute slot in the Fieldays Tent Talks in association with the University of Waikato to talk all about their product. So good, something to look forward to. What about a round of applause for all those prizes? Like, that is cruel, eh? So congratulations, $10,000 in cash, courtesy of PwC, 15 grand's worth of time from the excellent King Street, and the 20-minute slot tomorrow morning at 10 sharp. So, this year the Judge and Growth and Scale judging team was led by Catherine Sanford. What about a round of applause for the judges in this one? Here are the 5 finalists. finalists. Bovonic by QuadSense, or with QuadSense, a patented inline mastitis screening system delivering real-time teat-level disease detection. MSD, Animal Health, Bovilis cryptium, the world's first vaccine for the active immunisation of pregnant cows to raise antigen-specific antibodies in colostrum, resulting in passive immunity in newborn calves against cryptosporidosis. What a great paragraph that was. TNR Interior Systems with Flock, the world's first 100% New Zealand wool acoustic panelling. Sustainably grown and fully biodegradable, these natural wool attributes combined with fire resistance properties, durability and creative flexibility of the range. The Helical company with Helical, a unified data platform enabling real-time genomic prediction for livestock breeding at scale. And finally, Trust Systems, Truss House Portable Frame, a precision-engineered timber portal frame system that maximises the structural value of MSG8 New Zealand plantation timber to deliver faster, more affordable residential and multi-unit construction. What an absolutely eclectic list of finalists. Let's give them all a round of applause. In any other event that they had entered, if they weren't up against each other, they would have taken out the category, but we can only have one winner. And from that incredibly eclectic list, the judges, through much deliberation, have chosen the winner. And the winner is Trust Systems, Truss House Portal Frame. The judges are impressed by Trust Systems' portal frame truss, a bold rethink of how New Zealand builds with plantation timber. They highlighted the company's strong intellectual property position with patents granted in 5 countries and 12 more pending, alongside commercial partnerships with Bunnings New Zealand and engineering validation from Prida. What truly set Trust Systems apart was the impact of the innovation itself, delivering a 30% saving in both materials and labour without compromising quality. The system has the potential to make both community housing and high-end homes more accessible. In the judge's view, Trust Systems has achieved something rare, a product with genuine commercial strength and meaningful social impact. What about a round of applause for Trust Systems?
I started this with "You could knock me over with a feather," and you can hear the tremble in my voice. This has been an incredible journey, and being able to work through the primary sector all the way through to the home-end homeowner here in New Zealand and really increase the quality of housing is very important. Thank you.
Congratulations. Hey, you know, one of the enormous privileges in my life is I get to spend a lot of time at a lot of different sectors and a lot of conferences. I was hosting the Frame and Truss conference. There are some great conferences out there. And I got a really great look into the tech and various things that are going into that particular sector. So I would say to each and every one of you, the most important thing, young people in particular, be curious, be relentlessly and unendingly curious. Look and research everything. If you see something and you don't know something about it, read up about it. Go to conferences that you don't think you're going to have anything to do with. Go and sit in a paper that you think has no relevance to your life whatsoever, whatever it may be, because you never know where that little bit of inspiration is going to come from a totally unrelated sector, and you end up with these wonderful innovations that we have tonight. I mean, as I say, if you haven't seen some of that tech around the timber and the truss industry, it is unbelievable what they are doing in that sector. It's phenomenal, and New Zealand is leading the way. We've got some almost record-breaking spans of composite timber without any sort of bracing and things going into buildings in Australia. If you look at the move to multi-storey timber buildings, that's all been driven by a whole lot of really, really clever tech in that sector. It's very sexy and it's very relevant. So, congratulations to all of our winners and all of our finalists and everybody who had an innovation. What a round of applause for each and every one of them. Congratulations. It always gives me great pleasure and also always a little bit of nervous trepidation at this time of the year because you never know how often you're going to be introducing them back onto stage again with an election coming up. Hey, look, we have the Minister for Rural Communities and the Associate Minister of Agriculture. He's passionate about the sector and innovation. I know I've heard him speak many times. Let's have a round of applause as we welcome the Honourable Mark Patterson for some concluding words. Hello, Mark.
Kia ora, koutou katoa, and thank you to Radar. It is my honour to offer some brief, you'll be pleased to know, concluding remarks. What an incredible evening. Could I just start off by some final acknowledgements. Firstly, I'd just like to once again give a special shout out to our Agricultural Minister, Todd McClay. Todd, you probably made about 20 speeches in the last couple of days, quite literally. You got up here tonight and spoke with the same passion for our industry and our sector that you did in the very first one. You know, that's a real credit to you and a testament to your passion. Anna, for sitting through all 20 speeches. I've seen a few of them, but you've probably seen a lot of them. Richard, the Fieldays team, what a platform you have presented for our primary sector. You have added new energy and new impetus to this major event on our calendar, and it's a true credit to you. Brendan O'Connell, I just want to, Agritech New Zealand, the government, we've reformed the science sector and we've really pivoted hard into the agritech space, and a lot of that, Brendan, you've been a staunch advocate over the last 2 or 3 years to lift our ambitions and to get us to support the very people that are in this room. And once again, thank you to the sponsors. I'd like to say I enjoyed the night, but for me it's a little bit of torment because I'm a technophobe and I'm a room full of nerds. But I must say it is genuinely impressive what we've seen tonight. Congratulations to all the finalists and particularly our winners. The good thing about the role that I'm in, the role that Todd's in and Barbara is in the primary sector and the rural sector in particular, we get to mix with the doers, the innovators, the entrepreneurs and the game changers. So tonight we salute your vision, we salute your passion, we salute your tenacity, we salute your potential and we have celebrated your success. What you are doing is very important for the future of New Zealand. Go out and take on the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. One trophy left on the table. There it is. Who's going to win that? Well, we're going to let the people decide, much like the election. May not always agree with the people, but the people get to vote. And you are the people. So here's the go. The People's Choice Awards, I think this is a really great one. We've had our judges decide over the 4 days of Field Days. People are coming through, they're having a look at the various innovations, and they're going to have their vote. The People's Choice Award is supported by King Street Advertising. It's being voted on through the event using the smart band at the kiosk and the Innovation Hub. So you can help, if you are one of these people, to have your favourite innovation win $2,000 from Field Days. And if you have been one of the people to vote for that award, I believe you could be in the chance to win for $500 yourself as well. So voting continues for the rest of the event, which is Field Days, right? The rest of it, yeah, all the rest of Field Days up until we close. The winner will be announced next week. They'll take away that trophy and the $2,000. A reminder that you are all welcome to attend the Field Days Innovation Breakfast, sponsored by Caitlin AI, supported by AWS. It is a breakfast with a panel discussion and a great opportunity to network, and it is very soon, 6:30 tomorrow morning. Stay over the night. It's cold out there. Let's shelter in place. Can we? We can't. No, look, and again, do take the opportunity. I know 6:30 is early, but do take the opportunity to come down because, as I say, you never know who you may meet. We have got some shuttles departing from the Village Green Arch just outside, heading to each of the car parks over the next 30 minutes or so if you do not wish to walk. Make sure you make use of those. Do feel free to avail yourselves of our photo wall to have a photograph with you and your team. We've got some seeds, courtesy of AWS, for some wildflowers. Take those with you. But most importantly, hey, congratulations. We live in a nation of people, and you would have heard them traipsing through there with your excellent ideas, and they've gone, oh, I could have thought of that, I could have done that. Well, you bloody well didn't. So congratulations to each and every one of you who has had an idea and had the courage to not only have that idea, but to put it forward. Not only to put it forward, but to enter it into competition and be judged against others and to put it in the innovation tent for a whole lot of people to walk past. It is an incredibly important thing you do. Let us make sure that through all of the little comments we have towards people that is encouraged, because I know how hard it is. You have to be belligerent and bloody minded and go through a lot of toil and a lot of trouble. So congratulations to everybody who has got something in the innovation tent or indeed thinking about it. Please, if you know anyone else who is doing something like this, encourage them to enter next year. Enter for them. Christmas is coming. Say, hey, guess what I got you for Christmas? You're in the innovation tent next year. You better get on with your project, because it is an excellent place to be better than what you thought you could be. So please stay, please network. We are here until we get thrown out in the very medium to near future. And may I just say, like, I host a lot of awards nights. But this Innovation Awards at Field Days, every year, without a doubt, I can say, hand on heart, that this awards night has certainly for me been the most recent. So, enjoy the rest of your evening, talk to a couple of people you don't know, and we will see you at breakfast very bright and early in the morning. Round of applause for all of our innovators, all of our finalists. Safe travels, take care.